His training camps were the stuff of legend. I mean, he would spar 100 rounds a week sometimes, which is just insane.
Yeah. So who do you like in Canelo versus Crawford?
Well, I'm a giant Crawford fan because I think he's the best switch hitter since Marvin Hagler. I also think he's one of those guys that if you tell him he can't do something, he wants to show you and shock the world.
1,000%.
Joe Rogan is fired up after seeing Terence Crawford's insane training for the Canelo fight. He says Crawford's switch hitting and adaptability could expose Canelo, even with a size gap. But Rogan warns, if Crawford isn't big enough to handle Canelo's bombs, this could turn ugly fast.
Crawford's about to fight.
Yes, he's going to fight Canelo.
Oh, man.
I just hope he's big enough. I hope he's big enough to keep that dude off him because Canelo hits so hard, man.
That's one dude that, like, I believe all the shit he be talking.
Crawford? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's good.
He don't just be saying shit. That dude,
They tried to say that like Errol Spence was damaged because of what Crawford did to him because he was damaged from the car accident. I'm like, maybe. Or maybe Crawford would have done that 3 years ago. I think he's that good. He's just so skillful. He's so slick. And when he gets, and he's also the best guy in the sport at switch hitting. He'll go from southpaw to orthodox and be just as good and trip you up. Like you think he's going to start southpaw, he starts orthodox. You prepare for orthodox, he's fighting southpaw. He feels like he's got you timed better orthodox, he'll switch it up.
Joe Rogan isn't holding back. He's all in for Terence Crawford in the mega fight with Canelo Alvarez. On his podcast with Jim Lampley, Rogan was asked who he's picking and fired back instantly, Crawford. He called Crawford the best switch hitter since Marvin Hagler and said Canelo's starting to slow down. Rogan loves Crawford's slick footwork, adaptability, and fight IQ, but admits the size and power Canelo carries could still be a serious problem.
Which I think is really interesting. The Crawford-Canelo fight.
Beyond interesting. Fascinating.
Because how does Crawford compete with that size? Crawford is leapfrogging. He goes to
He's
super
goes
middleweight.
47 to 54 and now to 68.
And the Madrigal fight in 54 is a difficult fight.
Yeah. So who do you like in Canelo versus Crawford?
Well, I'm a giant Crawford fan because I think he's the best switch hitter since Marvin Hagler. I also think he's one of those guys that if you tell him he can't do something, he wants to show you and shock the world.
1,000%.
I also think Canelo is slowing down, and Canelo is more of a one-punch fighter now than the combination fighter he was when he was young. He uses strength and conditioning. There's very few fighters that just train using skill, just train skills. Like George St. Pierre did that for a certain period of his career.
I wonder if there's anybody left in boxing who trains just using the gym skills. There were a lot of them when I was first involved in the sport who would never have touched a weight.
Right.
You know, they subscribed totally to the notion that was negative.
Right. And the worst case, I mean, they definitely did calisthenics, but that was it. It was just body weight exercises, you know, which brings us to Crawford, which I think is really interesting. The Crawford-Canelo fight.
Beyond interesting.
Fascinating. Fascinating. Because how does Crawford compete with that size? And, you know, we have to recognize, okay, well, when Canelo fought Floyd, it was 152 pounds, right? So he had dropped down, which was a struggle for him, which is why Floyd was so brilliant in getting him to go down to 152, because he knew he would be drained.
Was it 52 or 54?
Joe Rogan warned Terence Crawford to tread carefully against Canelo, saying the size and power gap is no joke. Still, he called it probably the biggest fight in boxing and promised he wouldn't miss it. In classic Rogan style, he even drifted into talking about cartel mule runners while breaking down the matchup, mixing fight talk with wild cultural commentary.
When you look at the elite of the elite boxers, to a man, to every one of them, they're disciplined. Yeah. And they stay focused. I'm so excited to see this fight with Canelo Alvarez because I think the Saudi Arabians have so much money. They're throwing so much money at boxing. And the guy who's the head of boxing over there wants to make that fight happen. I think Terence Crawford, forget about the 3 weight classes. I think he can beat Canelo.
I think he can too.
On the Joe Rogan Experience, Terence Crawford looked back at his 2023 demolition of Errol Spence Jr., saying preparation was the key. Everything you saw on fight night, we drilled over and over, he told Rogan, crediting his flawless performance to non-stop repetition. As for Canelo's size, Crawford shrugged it off. He might be bigger than me, but bigger doesn't mean stronger.
Actually, practicing it, you know, that was something that when I had the cast on, I was like, man, I love the gym so much. I'm like, man, I'm not leaving the gym. Like, I'm going practice with this left. And that's when I got the left stronger, because at first, when I go southpaw, it was only, you know, my right. Then when my hand got messed up, just started working on the left, and it started getting stronger and stronger, and I started getting more accurate, because at first just throw it just to be throwing it, and then it just got to a point where my left was actually way stronger than my right.
Teddy Atlas says Canelo versus Crawford is the ultimate size versus speed battle. Canelo's got the power and home field edge, but Crawford's got the agility and brain power to flip the script. Atlas even likens it to Pacquiao's shocker over De La Hoya, praising Crawford's killer instincts, timing, and slipperiness in the ring. Even though Canelo rules the higher weight classes, Atlas insists Crawford is very, very special. The kind of fighter who can beat raw power with smarts, versatility, and those untouchable intangibles.
Maybe he's a little overrated.
Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds.
Canelo's really good. Really good. But I think Crawford is special. I know he hasn't fought the resume everyone wants, but you have that or you don't have that ingredient. I think he has it. Canelo's really good. He's tremendous. But could he be a tiny bit overrated? The greatness is within Crawford. It's in his desire. It's in his mind. It's in his makeup, where he came from. I know he's moving up in weight class. Can he carry it? But those intangibles, I believe that he has them.
In training camp, Terence Crawford has shocked fans with a massive body transformation for his super middleweight showdown with Canelo Alvarez. After fighting at 154 pounds, he's bulked up to a ripped 185, with earlier clips showing him looking close to cruiserweight size. The muscle is clean and defined, proof of strict training and conditioning. But not everyone's buying the hype. Strength coach Rob Oster warns that jumping from 154 straight to 168 plus could slow Crawford down and drain his stamina. A dangerous gamble against Canelo's crushing power.
On size. Crawford coming in the ring, and Crawford doing everything he can to match Canelo's power, possibly size, and to, at a minimum, try to just maintain what speed he already possesses. Because, when you go up in weight, sometimes you compromise speed. So we know Crawford and his team are doing everything they can to, at a minimum, maintain his speed. But the question came up, okay, since Crawford is looking to come in the ring fast, powerful, we know he's already brilliant. Shit, what if Canelo comes in lighter? I'm like, lighter? Yeah, what happens if Canelo says, you know what, I'm not gonna try to come and just outweigh him by 20 pounds on fight night, because I realize I'm in it with somebody who's very agile and who's probably gonna be faster than me, and although I have timing, he has timing too, so I can't afford to be 2 or 3 steps behind Terence Crawford in my speed.
Joe Rogan, Teddy Atlas, and even strength coaches agree. Canelo versus Crawford isn't just another fight. It's a battle of power, skill, and pure will. With questions over size, speed, and strategy, this clash could go down as one of the most talked about moments in boxing history. Who walks away the king? Drop your pick in the comments, smash that like button, and subscribe so you don't miss a single update on this epic showdown.